Hi, this is Coach Stacy, and I'm going to show you a routine that is great for your core, and especially if you can't do any forward flexion. If you want to target your core muscles, so specifically your transversus abdominis muscles, oblique muscles, your back muscles, glute medius, and hamstrings, this is the routine for you. Alright, you don't need any equipment, so just join me. First thing you're going to do is lie down on the floor with your feet about hip distance apart, flat on the floor, and you want to draw your navel, your belly button, in towards your spine to contract your transversus abdominis muscles. Make your belly as flat as you can, but still allow yourself to breathe. Breathing is important here. We're going to do some hip rolls first. So start with your hands down, palms down, and your shoulder blades flat against your back. Now squeeze your gluteal muscles and then start lifting your hips up off of the floor, and then peel your spine off the floor one vertebra at a time. Come into a shoulder bridge. So you want your shoulder blades and your neck and your head still down on the ground, but your hips should be lifted up. So you're creating a straight line from your knees down to your armpits. Now on your next exhale, I want you to slowly roll down one vertebra at a time, really articulating through your spine. One vertebra at a time, and then set your hips all the way down. All right, again, make sure your navel is drawn in toward your spine and engage your deep pelvic floor muscles as well. Shoulder blades flat against your back. Squeeze those gluteal muscles and lift your hips up off of the ground, and then peel your spine off the ground one vertebra at a time until you're in that shoulder bridge. Hold here, really contract your abdominal area so that your belly is nice and flat, but keep the tension out of your shoulders. And then roll back down to the ground like you're dropping a string of pearls down to the ground. One vertebra at a time, and relax. All right, we're going to do that one more time. So abs on, pelvic floor muscles engaged, glutes on, and lift your hips up toward the ceiling. One vertebra at a time. Nice and slow with a lot of control. Hold at the top. Keep breathing here. Keep squeezing your glutes so your hips stay lifted. Flatten your belly. And then roll back down one vertebra at a time. Nice and slow. All right, hips down. This time you're just going to lift your hips straight up toward the ceiling. Don't worry about rolling through your spine. Squeeze those glutes and lift up in that shoulder bridge. Now, bring your right hip down to touch the floor. Your pelvis should rotate to the right. Left knee should be straight up toward the ceiling. Keep your abs engaged. All right, now squeeze the right glutes and lift your right hip back up so that your pelvis is level here. Now touch that left side down to the ground. Let your left knee angle out to the left side so your pelvis is rotated. Right knee straight up toward the ceiling. And then squeeze the right glutes and lift up into that bridge position again, flat belly. We'll go a little bit quicker now. Touch down on the right side and lift, touch down left and lift. So you're rotating through that pelvis, letting it tilt to the side, squeezing your glutes to lift so your hips come level in the center. Keep your belly flat and keep breathing. Good, let's go two more times on each side. Down and squeeze. Down, squeeze up. One more time and lift. All right. Now roll back down one vertebra at a time to the floor. Good. Now we're going to go up into tabletop position. Your feet are going to come off the floor. Before you do that, though, I want you to shorten the distance between your rib cage and your hip bones. So shorten that distance, and that's going to make your lower back press lightly into the ground. Now, lift your feet up off the ground 1 foot at a time so that your knees are right over your hips. Bring your arms out wide to the sides, and you can have your palms up or palms down, whatever's more comfortable for your shoulders. Knees and ankles together. Drop both of your knees over to the right side. Keep your shoulder blades on the floor. Now draw your navel in toward your spine and use your abs to bring those knees back to center. Drop both knees down on the left side, keeping your shoulder blades on the mat or on the floor, and then bring those knees back to center. All right, lower down on the right side. And exhale as you bring your knees back to center. Lower your knees down on the left. Use your abs and bring the knees back to center. Let's go 2 more times on each side. Take it right and back to center. And left. Abs in, back to center. 1 more time, right, and back to center. And now left, and back to center. Okay, heel lowers are next. So keeping your legs up in tabletop position, you're going to bring your arms long at your sides, palms down. Draw your navel in toward your spine, so keep your belly flat here. Relax your shoulders, but keep your shoulder blades flat against your back. Drop your right heel down so it touches the floor with your knee bent, and then lift it back up so your knee is over your hips. Left heel touches down and lift. Now the tricky part is, as you're bringing the knee back up over your hip, not to let the abdominals go. You want to keep that contraction, keep your belly flat, all the way down and up. Really contract the abdominals, but keep the tension out of your shoulders. Inhale and exhale, keeping your belly flat, pelvic floor muscles on, touch down and lift up. Let's go 1 more time each side. Down and lift, and down and lift. Good. Now set both feet down 1 at a time and rest for a moment. Okay, roll it over onto one side. We're going to do side plank here. Place your elbow right underneath your shoulder. Bend your bottom knee and keep your top leg straight. Make sure your hips are stacked, one right on top of the other. Shoulders are stacked. Draw your navel in toward your spine. Engage those abs and your pelvic floor muscles. Now lift your hips up toward the ceiling. We're going into a side plank. Raise your top arm up and keep lifting those hips up, 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 up. Press your elbow into the floor so that your shoulder stays away from your ear. Make sure that your neck is in alignment with the rest of your spine, so avoid dropping your ear down towards your shoulder or craning your neck forward. You want to keep everything in alignment. Now, if you want to make this more challenging, you can straighten out that bottom leg so both legs are straight. Keep your hips stacked, one right on top of the other. So the tendency is going to be to have those hips roll back. Avoid that. All right, keep lifting, drawing your navel in, breathing. Hold about for another 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly with control, come on down. Nice work. Front plank is next. So you're going to be on your forearms and your elbows, elbows right underneath your shoulders. Legs are straight here. And you want to lift up off of the ground, drawing your navel in toward your spine, making a nice line from the top of your head all the way down to your heels. Now, if you need to regress this a little bit, you can always set your knees down on the ground. Make sure your knees stay behind your hips, though. And if you like, you can lift those feet off the ground. Back up onto your toes if and when you can. Press your elbows into the floor, shoulders away from your ears. We're going to hold for another 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. All right, on to the other side now for side plank. Elbow right underneath your shoulder, hips stacked, bottom leg starts bent, top leg straight, shoulders stacked. Lift your hips up toward the ceiling. Raise the top arm up. Good. Now keep lifting your hips away from the floor and avoid letting your hips rock backward or forward. Keep the hips stacked, one right on top of the other. Shoulders too. Press your elbow into the floor to keep your shoulder away from your ear here. And if you want to make it more challenging, straighten out the bottom leg so both legs are straight. Stacked one right on top of the other. Lift your hips up, up, up. You should start to feel this in your oblique muscles, in the waistline, the side that's pointed down toward the floor. Keep drawing your belly in. We got 5 more seconds here. 4, 3, 2, 1, and carefully release it down. Good work. All right, let's come into a quadruped position. So you're on all fours. Hands right underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, back flat. Raise your right arm next to your right ear. Extend your left leg straight out behind you. Now make sure your hip bones, your ASIS bones, these right here in front, are both pointed down toward the floor. The tendency is going to be to have one side hike up a little bit. You want to keep them level and your back flat. Reach your arm away from your head and reach your foot in the opposite direction. Draw your navel in toward your spine and keep breathing. Now I want you to bend your right elbow and your left knee underneath you and then extend. Reach them out. Again, bend in and extend. In and reach out. Keep your back flat here, not rounded. Bend in and reach out. You're working your multifidus muscles here, the ones that run up and down your spine. And reach. 4 more times. Extend. 3. Breathe. Last 2. And 1 more. Reach out. Set your hand down and your knee down. Good. Reposition now. Hands underneath your shoulders. Knees underneath your hips. Flat back. Draw your navel in. Deep pelvic floor muscles on. Raise your left arm next to your left ear. Right leg extends out behind you. So straight line from your fingertips to your toes. Best you can. Hip bones both pointed down toward the floor. Avoid hiking that hip up. All right, bend your knee and your elbow in, keeping your back flat, and extend out. Again, bend in and reach. Make your body as long as you can here. Bend in and reach out. Draw your navel in toward your spine and reach. In and extend. Bend in and extend. In, extend, bend in. And we got 3 more to go. In and reach. And 2, reach 1 more time. Reach, hand down, knee down. All right, stay in this quadruped position on your hands and knees. We're going to do cat stretch next. Drop your tailbone toward the floor. Round your middle spine up toward the ceiling and drop your head down toward the floor. So you're creating a rainbow shape with your upper body. Now, come through flat back, and as long as it doesn't hurt your lower back, come into extension. Head up, tailbone up, middle spine drops down. So you're curving the back the other direction. All right, into cat stretch again. Tailbone down, middle spine up, head down. And then through flat back and into extension. If that hurts your lower back when you're doing an extension, just stay in flat back. All right, round up again into cat stretch. And through flat back into extension. 1 more time, round up. Keep breathing. And through flat back into extension. And then into flat back. All right, coming on to one side again. Bend your knees forward towards your chest so you have about a 90-degree bend at your hip. Bottom arm extended out long on the floor with your head resting on your arm or hand cradling your head. Now, I want you to keep your hips stacked again. Draw your navel in toward your spine. Separate your legs so there's a little space, about a fist distance, between your knees and your ankles. Now, without rocking the hips backward, I want you to lift the top leg up toward the ceiling and then lower down, keeping that space between your knees and your ankles. Lift and lower. Up and down. Now make sure that your knee and your ankle are level with each other. So your knee isn't way higher than your ankle, or your ankle isn't a lot higher than your knee. Lift and lower. We're targeting glute medius here. Right up in here. Lift and down. Lift and lower. Now avoid rocking backward. You want to stabilize the hips. Lift up and down. Lift and lower. Good. You should feel it getting warm right around here, glute medius. Maybe it's even burning a little bit. Keep working it if you can. Stabilize through your hips so they're not rocking backward. And make sure you keep your abs on. Core's got to work too here. Yeah, breathe. All right, now keep that leg up. Now bring your knees together. So your knees are touching, your ankle is up toward the ceiling, only top ankle. Bottom leg is on the floor. Okay, heels come together now and your knee points up toward the ceiling. Now bring your knees together and heels together. Knee to knee, heel to heel, knee to knee, heel to heel. Knees and heels. Keep it going, and heels. Good. Avoid the hips rocking backward. You want to stabilize there. Knees and heels, really working that glute medius. Knees and heels, 4 more, and heels, 3, heels, last 2, heels, 1, heels, and rest. Great. Okay, other side. So again, your knees are going to come forward a little bit, so you almost have a 90-degree angle at your hip. Your bottom arm is either stretched out on the floor or cradling your head. Draw your navel in, keep your hips stacked, and separate your knees and your ankles, just about a fist distance. Now raise that top leg up toward the ceiling without letting your hips rock back. Lower back down. Lift and lower. Up and down. Keep your knee and your ankle in alignment with each other. Yes. Up, down. Think about the muscle group doing the work here. It's right in the hip area, glute medius. It's important for stabilizing your pelvis or your hips. And if you're a runner or you're a hiker, really important to keep that strong, because you're going to work your quads when you're running or hiking and your hamstrings, so the front and the back of your leg. If you don't work the sides here as well, they can become weak relative to the front and the back of your leg and cause your pelvis to drop. And that can cause knee pain, it can cause low back pain, it can cause IT band syndrome, all kinds of problems that you don't want, even shin splints. So make sure you're keeping these muscles strong, especially relative to the front and the back of your legs. All right, this time keep your leg up. Now drop your knees together, ankle up toward the ceiling, and then touch your heels together, lift your knee up toward the ceiling. Knee to knee, heel to heel, knee to knee, and heels. Knees and heels. Don't forget about the abs. They've got to work too. Draw your navel in toward your spine, pelvic floor muscles on, knees and heels, knees and heels. We've got 4 more. Heels, 3, heels, last 2, heels, 1, heels, and rest. Good. Let's mobilize and stretch out the hip. Up on all fours again in quadruped position. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Lean both of your hips over to the left side. Oh, that feels so good. Lean into it. Feel the stretch in your left hip. And then bring your hip back over your left heel, and then over your right heel, and come up, leaning to the right side. Now come back over that right heel, left heel, and come up, leaning to the left. Back over your left heel, your right heel, and up on the right. Right heel, left heel, and up on the left. Good. Keep drawing that semicircle with your hips. Feel the stretch in your hip capsule, mobilizing and stretching the hips. This is a really good one if you have tight hips, or if you just worked your glute medius, like we did. Keep breathing and keep your abs on, engaged, contracted. All right. Now, we're going to work the back of the legs a little bit more. Tuck your toes under and hover your knees off of the ground. This is also going to work your upper body. I want you to press your hands into the floor so your shoulders stay away from your ears. Keep your abs on, pelvic floor muscles engaged as well. Now lift your left foot up toward the ceiling. Your knee should be flexed and your foot should be flexed as well. Now little pulses up toward the ceiling. Pulse that left leg up and up, up, up. Work the glutes. Lift, lift, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set your left foot down. Pick your right foot up. Knee should be bent. Foot flexed. Abs on. Shoulders away from your ears. And little pulses up toward the ceiling. Lift, lift. Squeeze the gluteal muscles. Your butt. Up, up. Lift, lift. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release it down. Come down onto your knees. Nice work. All right, let's work the hamstrings a little bit more. So I want you to flip it over again. You're going to come down onto your back with your knees bent. We're going to go into a shoulder bridge. So draw your navel in towards your spine. Engage your deep pelvic floor muscles. Shoulder blades flat against your back. Squeeze your glutes and lift your hips straight up toward the ceiling. From here, I want you to extend your right leg so that your thighs, the upper part of your legs, are parallel to each other. Now keep lifting your hips up. Up, up, up. Don't let them drop down toward the floor. Lift. Press your left foot into the floor. Now if you can, I want you to lift your left toes up. Yeah, good. Core on. So your abs are working here. Your hamstrings are working, the back of the legs, and your glutes are working. Lift those hips. Breathe. Relax your shoulders. We got 8 seconds more here. 3, 2, 1. Set your toes down. Bend that right knee. Set the right foot down. Keep your hips lifted. Abs on as well. Extend your left leg so thighs are parallel to each other. Shoulders relax. Keep the hips up, 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 up. Okay, now, if you can, lift your right toes up off the floor. Press your right heel down. Keep working that right glute and hamstring area. Back the leg. Keep your belly flat. Lift the hips. Relax your shoulders. Another 8 seconds here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set your left foot down and lower your hips down to the mat. Good work. All right. We're going to stretch out the back of the legs in an inverted V or downward facing dog. So you're going to flip it over again onto your stomach. Place your hands underneath your shoulders on the floor. Lengthen through your spine. Tuck your toes under. Now press your upper body away from the floor. Now lift your knees off of the floor. Pike your hips up toward the ceiling. Keep your legs straight. Bring your head in between your arms. Spread your toes and spread your fingers. Draw your navel in towards your spine. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Press your heels into the floor to give a good stretch in the back of the leg, hamstrings and calf muscles. Now paddle your heels up and down one at a time. One heel lifts and the other one presses down. Breathe. All right, both heels down. Carefully walk your hands towards your feet. And now draw your navel in a little bit more towards your spine and roll up one vertebra at a time. Shoulders, neck, head comes up last, and you are finished. Nice work.